Hey everybody, welcome back. Last time we did a little exploration in Traverse Town. We fought a couple foes there, and then we moved on to Wonderland. We got through the main story of Wonderland, and managed to seal the keyhole. That gave us our first achievement, and now we are making our way back to Traverse Town. What we're doing there, I would like to grind one more level, maybe stock up on some supplies, and then we're going to be heading over to Olympus to take care of the games. Should be a pretty good time. I've been thinking about how I'm going to be going through the process of unlocking all of the achievements in this game, specifically the method and order in which I'm going to be doing it. I believe the easiest course of action is going to be to just tackle the story first, and not focus too hard on being a completionist with the playthrough. With the final mix, they've done a very good job of making there no permanently missable content. At least, not after certain points like Destiny Island, and not with things that will preclude you from getting the achievements. So I will likely be pushing through the game to Final Rest at the end of the world, and then looking to complete the Jiminy's Journal. And then outside of Jiminy's Journal, the rest of the achievements are some item grabbing things. You need to get all of the equipment for everybody. And as a part of that, that also requires you to complete the synthesis list. And once we wrap those up, there may be a small series of miscellaneous things that we have to tackle before we finish the last boss and then go through the second run. But I think just playing through like a player and focusing primarily on the journal will be our best bet. And hey, look at that. For coming back and getting done with that first Gummy mission, we earn ourselves our second achievement of the game. 53 to go. Good times. Now that we have Blizzard from Wonderland, we are able to cast it on these candles in the cafe. By doing so, you're able to unlock this chest, and it gives you a defense up. I think at this point I was playing pretty sleepily. Under normal circumstances, if you manage to pick up a defense up or a strength up or something of that nature, I would very much suggest you just put it on Sora immediately. I don't do that here, and honestly, that is just a mistake. That's the mailbox you hand the postcards into. You want to get 10 of them by the end of the game. I believe it's part of the journal, but I'm not positive. At this point, I take a bit of time and just go fighting around the city. We'll shorten some of these battles.
Come on! Come on! See ya! Come on! See ya! Deep freeze!
As we make it over to District 3, we take a quick minute to get this Blue Trinity up on this hill. Eventually the grinding pays off when we get another level out of this. This gives us a guard. Guard is one of the most valuable abilities in the game. Kind of like dodge roll, it blocks damage, it doesn't have a cooldown, it doesn't have a resource cost. While other things are nice in enhancing your damage, like Slapshot and Berserk, things like dodge roll and guard are incredible for your defense. Effectively, they give you tools to provide 100% total mitigation, And because there's no cooldown and because there's no resource cost in using them,
Come on.
they really boil down to just being around good timing, and if you get that timing down, it's free value. So with that level, I think we're done in Traverse Town. We don't have to do any more grinding. This is a pretty uneventful flight. We're just gonna skip to the end. Olympus. This may be one of my favorite places in this game. Just combat and rehashed bosses and new fights and all kinds of... It's the part of Kingdom Hearts I like the most, all concentrated into one little space. But first, a little bit of exploration of this Andro Plaza. As you'll see, there's 2 trinities out here as well as a couple of treasure chests. The most important treasure chest is the one to the other trinity that we're going to get on the other side. That one has some puppy dogs in it to save and send home.
Good timing. Give me a hand, will you? Move that pedestal over there for me. I gotta spruce this place up for the games.
Alright, so Danny DeVito wants you to push this rock. This is a yellow trinity for later on. We can't actually move the pillar right now, it's just a story element, so we try and then we go back to him and that will progress us to the rest of Olympus.
It's way too heavy.
What? Too heavy? Since when have you been such a little...
It's a PG show, Phil.
Oh, wrong guy. What are you doing here? This here's the world-famous Coliseum, heroes only. And I got my hands full preparing for the games, so run along, pipsqueaks. Look, it's like this. Heroes are coming from all over to fight ferocious monsters right here in the Coliseum.
You've got heroes standing right in front of you.
Yup, he's a real hero chosen by the Keyblade.
And we're heroes too.
Hero? That grunt?
What's so funny? I fought a bunch of monsters.
Hey, if you can't even move this, you can't call yourself a hero? Yeah. Okay, so it takes more than brawn. Well, let's see what you can do.
This is a pretty simple minigame. What it comes down to is you need to hit the barrels with a combo finisher to make them fly, and when they fly, they break. There's no way to shorten your combo in Kingdom Hearts 1, so effectively this is get 3 uninterrupted hits and then finish off on a barrel. And the timing is pretty loose for all of these. If you follow the path that I'm going on in this video, you shouldn't have any issues. This is the advanced course. It's a little bit trickier. There's a couple of barrels that are hidden and tucked away in cool spots. Really, the one gotcha in this stage is the pillar barrel that you'll see me throw at in just a minute here. But as you see for this stage, generally it's just a slow upwards S-climb along these platforms. And after these is the pillar barrel. This barrel you want to line up so that you are going to be launching it straight off between these other two, and it will hit that barrel off in a distance, and that's the easiest way to get to it within time. And after you get all of those, you just drop on down to the back here, and there's a couple left to clean up.
You know, you ain't bad, kid.
Looks like I'm headed for the games.
Afraid not.
Why not?
2 words. You guys ain't heroes.
Come on.
Alright, so for beating up the barrels, you get your first iteration of Thunder. This isn't the most valuable spell that you'll be getting. It does always hit because it doesn't have any travel time. And eventually, when you get the leveled up versions, it becomes a really viable AoE ability. But for now, I probably won't be using it all that much. It's just nice to have on the hotbar. You're allowed to practice barrels, but there's not much more to it than what we already did. So at this point, getting 2-timed by Phil, really your only option is to roll out and try another path. But luckily...
Rather a stubborn old goat, wouldn't you say?
Who are you?
Oh, hey, hold on there, Fuzzboy. Wait, let me guess. You want to enter the games, right? Well then, hey, get a load of this.
A pass?
It's all yours. Good luck, kid. I'm pulling for you, little shorty.
Spoiler, he is not. So now that we've had that cutscene, we can go back and talk to Phil again, and he'll let us join the games. It's something like 6 or 7 progressively scaling combat encounters, and then on top of that, there's a boss that you have to take on at the end in Cloud. At this point in the game, it's largely a longevity test. Not too many things you face in this tournament are actually going to provide you a direct threat, but over time it wears you down, you get chip damage on you, and eventually you're just out of magic and potions. So we're stocking up here to make sure that we can get to the end as well as we can, because Cloud at this point is not the most fun. He has a lot of attacks that you can guard, but you don't really have any way to follow up on without counterattack yet. So what it leads to is a lot of doing chip shop on him, you know, 1 or 2 hits before you walk away. The trap of Cloud is to try and finish your combos, although we'll talk a bit more about him when we actually get to the encounter. Right now we have a couple of progressively increasing trash battles. Here's some blue Rhapsodies. They're like the red guys, but they use ice instead of fire. Just as nimble, just as annoying, just as fragile. These fights are a really good opportunity to pull in some more combat experience, and I don't just mean the experience that you get that levels up your character. A lot of Sora's power in this game, outside of the actual abilities that you equip and the equipment that you use, is in your capacity for hitting 2, 3, sometimes even 4 enemies with one swing of your Keyblade at a time. And when you get these Colosseum encounters where it bunches them all up and kind of starts you off on a neutral ground, where you're facing them and they're facing you, it gives you a good repeating method for figuring out how to engage with enemies and how to walk up to them in ways that cause them to clump up and allows you to hit more than one of them at a time. It gets you used to all of these little caster caps and how much time they generally take between their little nimble dodges. You may not realize it, but by spending time fighting these things, you're internalizing all of those timings and figuring it out, and you're going to just intrinsically get better at the game. If you find yourself having a hard time with the combat in Kingdom Hearts, Olympus is the perfect place to just come work that out. There's no penalty for loss outside of your time. You still accumulate all of the experience that you gain. Somehow they convinced the Heartless that they got to show up here that you are not their mortal enemy, so they'll beat you to within an inch of your life, but they won't actually kill you. Or maybe there's guards or something that stop them at the end. I'm not quite sure. They never really explain how they managed to get all of these Heartless here, but didn't turn it into a catastrophe. Like, yeah, Hades is here, and he is controlling all of this. He's the puppet master of Olympus. But if I lose one of these tournaments, wouldn't he just have the large body hit me and kill me? I won't complain about it too much because sides, but make plays, Hades. Make plays.
See ya! Fire!
That little punk is your next opponent, okay? Now don't blow it. Just take him out.
The great god of the underworld is afraid of a kid? Sorry, but my contract says...
I know! You think I don't know? I wrote the contract! I know it says you're only required to kill Hercules in this tournament. But you gotta fight that kid to get to him. Come on. Hey, it's like that old goat says. Rule number 11. It's all just a game. So let loose and have fun with it. I mean, a casualty or two along the way. It's no big deal, right? Jeez. Stiffer than the stiffs back home. Still, suckers like him are hard to come by.
Come on! Fire! Come on! Come on! Take that!
Alright, so here is Cloud. This is one of those encounters that you don't actually have to win to progress the story with. It's tuned a bit higher than everything else you're going to face up to this point because of that. And while it's pretty difficult, it is also a pretty basic fight. Cloud only has, at this stage, 3 abilities. He has that Hoo, he has a Hya, and then he has a Jump. When he goes Hoo, he's about to use Sonic Blade, and that's where he dashes forward with the Buster Sword straight at you. And when he does this, it's pretty hard to get any damage on him. I choose to just step to the side. His second ability is the Hya, and the Hya is a multi-swing in place You're able to guard this, and you're also able to parry it, although at this stage of the game without counterattack, I find there's not enough of a window to really make a lot of advantage off of getting a parry. So I would suggest when he does the Hya, you just use it as an opportunity to take a step in and get 1 or 2 free swings in on him, preferably from the side. And finally he has his jump. Sometimes he'll just jump at you out of nowhere. He doesn't have any audible cue to wind up to it, although as the game progresses he will also start chaining it at the end of his Sonic Blade abilities. And when he does the jump, the best way to counter it is to time a dodge roll to be about halfway through when he hits the ground going to the side, and that will allow you to get up and take a couple of swings into him. You don't have enough time to get a full 3-hit combo, but that's part of the trap of this fight, is you almost never have enough time in this first encounter to get a full 3-hit combo. So what you want to do is you want to take advantage of the small opportunities you get between each of these 3 abilities he uses and pick up as much chip damage as you can get. It takes a while, it's kind of grueling. Yeah, there's a lot of attrition if you take damage that eventually you find yourself out of potions and your buddies can't help you anymore. But if you manage to keep it clean enough, long enough on him, eventually he'll give you the win.
That's the best you can do?
So at a certain HP threshold, he'll start doing the multi-Sonic Blade chain, and he also loves to finish off his chains with that jump attack. This is a good indicator that you're making progress on him. It's also, for me personally, a point where the fight gets a little bit easier, specifically because he likes to use that jump at the end of the Sonic chains, and I find that jump to be the most reliable way to get chip damage in on him. So things should speed up just a little bit. I find that Donald and Goofy tend to make this battle more challenging when they're up because they make the Sonics less predictable. So when they drop, and it's pretty quick that they drop once they're up, don't worry about giving them your potions or making sure that they're part of the battle. They're not doing all that much damage anyway. And there's our Cloud. Puppy.
Wait, there was one other rule. I forgot. Accident happened.
Hey, Phil! Get them out of here!
So the tournament's over. We have won the tournament, but at this point we have to deal with Cerberus. The game gives you a chance to kind of reload, get yourself saved, get everything stabilized, and then you can go back and take Cerberus on, just by going through the actual doorway to the Colosseum. This is the only time I believe you're allowed to go through that door in the game. Just making sure everything's as I want it. This boss does dark damage with one of its abilities, and I believe at this point I am mentally weighing if I want to bring something to mitigate that or not. But ultimately I believe I choose not to, because the physical damage from some of the bites is a lot rougher.
Kid, I got 2 words of advice for you. Attack!
So after fighting Cloud, Cerberus ends up being a bit of a relaxing fight for us. Cerberus doesn't hit as hard. Cerberus has some easier abilities to read and mitigate. This fight's more about execution and less about doing a battle or a duel. There's 4 abilities to deal with, and I'll explain them as they're seen. So here is the Bite ability, and this is one of the more common things you'll see in the battle. The heads take turns doing these snap jaw attacks. They're pretty quick between bites, and it's a little unpredictable sometimes with how much time there will be between. So just like with Cloud, the trick here is to get 1 or 2 swings in and not try to go for a full combo, so you don't get that, you don't get clipped with that next attack coming in just a little too fast. Basically, when you see the heads rear up and get ready to do the snap bites, you know that you have some free damage coming. Next, you see these fireballs. The easiest way to deal with them is to just stand to the side of the dog and do jumps and swings and hit at the heads. You'll intrinsically be swinging the fireballs back at the dog sometimes, and other times they'll just curl around and hit the ground without ever getting to you because you're at an awkward angle for the dog. Thirdly, you just saw the breath attack, where Cerberus will rear up its head real slow and then breathe fire into the ground 3 times, just like that. And it causes these dark eruptions to appear out of the ground. You can see them for a good half second before they erupt, so it's not too difficult to dodge. And Cerberus doesn't like to follow up with anything crazy while this is happening, so you can focus most of your attention just on the stuff on the ground. If you want, you can use the lack of movement as a way to get up on Cerberus's head, and this will allow you to avoid the dark damage while also giving you some free damage on the heads, although it's pretty challenging at this point in the game from Cerberus's back to deal damage to the heads without just falling off, so I would suggest not trying that unless you're pretty comfortable with the movement in this game. And finally, Cerberus's last ability is that stomp. The whole puppy gets up on its hind legs, rears all the way back, and then stomps down with both paws, and it makes a giant shockwave. It deals damage, it staggers you. You just want to jump over top of it when you see it coming. And all this fight is a cascade of these abilities over and over in different orders. There's not really any, long-term ramp component to this encounter. What you get at the beginning is what you get by the end, so once you learn it and you're able to deal with all the abilities and deal out damage amidst them, you should have a pretty easy time getting through Cerberus. Good boy.
Thus, I do hereby dub the Junior Heroes and confer upon the full rights and privileges to participate in the games. Further...
Hey, what do you mean, Junior Heroes?
You rookies still don't understand what it takes to be a true hero.
So, what does it take?
Well, that's just something you'll have to find out for yourselves. Just the way that I did.
No problem. We'll start by proving ourselves in the games.
There ain't gonna be any games for a while. Gotta clean up the mess from that last battle first.
Okay, we'll be back.
I still can't believe that Squirt actually beat Cerberus.
Just between us, I'd already worn Cerberus down by the time the little guy jumped in.
Give me one thing. One thing.
My lips are sealed.
You alright?
Yeah.
So, why did you go along with him anyway?
I'm looking for someone. Hades promised to help. I tried to exploit the power of darkness, but it backfired. I fell into darkness, and I couldn't find the light.
You'll find it. I'm searching too.
For your light? Don't lose sight of it.
How about a rematch sometime? Fair and square, no dark powers involved.
I think I'll pass.
Good old Sonic Blade. This has virtually no chance of being used until the end game, although when you do get to use it, it's pretty valuable. The big thing about Sonic Blade and Ars Arcanum and some of those abilities that you pick up is that they give you iframes when you first cast them. Sonic is probably the most valuable in that sense because you are effectively invincible throughout the entirety of it. Strike rate is very similar. And as we get to some more difficult boss encounters, you may see me using these abilities not as offense, but as defense, because they make you invulnerable for long periods of time, and that's great.
He's strong. He's kind. He's always there for you. And he's handsome to boot. He's perfect. Perfect.
Perfectly infuriating. He makes me crazy.
Wait a minute. What are you worried about? All the pieces are in place. Relax. Whoa, 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 whoa. Here's what you do. Let Hercules train the kid. In the next games, I'll take care of them both. Who invited you to the party? Stay out of this. This is my show.
As you wish. Fight to your heart's content.
So, with Olympus finished, the next place to go is Deep Jungle to the right. However, I am pretty low on supplies after getting through all of the Olympus, specifically with Cerberus and Cloud back-to-back. We're light on potions. So we're going to make our way back to Traverse Town for a little bit. We're going to stock up on potions, get ourselves reoriented, and then probably make our way over to Deep Jungle via Wonderland. Just picking up a whole bunch of potions. Early game, these are really valuable because we don't have cure yet. However, Deep Jungle is where we're going to pick that up, and it's going to make the game a lot easier regarding longevity. Alright, so we're prepared for Deep Jungle. Let's also get prepared for a good travel. Right now we're still using the basic gummy ship. We have a couple of upgrades that we've picked up to this point. Specifically, we have that Thundara G as well as that Scan G. We're not going to be completely reconfiguring our ship right now, but they'll make the journey towards Deep Jungle just a bit more smooth. We fumble and fiddle a little bit here. As you learn how to configure your gummy ship, the circle and the X and triangle and all of those selection choices, you'll get better at them. I'm not very good at them right now. And finishing up that pops us our third achievement for making a customization to a gummy ship. Closer and closer. Chip and Dale tell us a little bit about our new goodies. You see the map is now up there, so we have a better idea of what's coming at us. And this is some pretty smooth sailing. I'm not going to make you watch the entire flight. And we made it. I go through this dialogue a little bit fast. Effectively, Sora, Donald, and Goofy have an argument over whether or not they should go into Deep Jungle because it looks kind of backwater, and their argument causes them to crash. We don't mean to be a Deep Jungle, we're just kind of there.
Whoa! Oh, my head. Donald? Goofy?
So after your argument and you crash in the Deep Jungle, you start off with a mini boss battle here, Sabor. This fight's got a pretty easy gimmick to it if you know how to position well. As you'll see, I'll move him around here a little bit, just kind of getting him so that he dives into alcoves, and then you can push him into a corner. He has no resistance to staggers, so once you get him there, you can just keep hitting him.
Sabor. Danger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is this place?
This place.
Okay. Where did the others go? Look, I got separated from my friends. Have you seen them?
Hmm?
Friends.
Friends.
Right, my friends. There's two of them. The loud one is Donald.
Huh?
You know what? Never mind. I'm looking for my friends Riku and Kairi.
Look for Riku. Friends.
Right.
Kairi. Friends.
Right.
Oh, friends. Here.
Really? Huh?
Friends. Here.
Not sure I understand, but show me. Take me to Riku and Kairi.
Tarzan. Tarzan. Go.
And I'm Sora. Tarzan go, Sora go.
Deep Jungle. This is the last of the Tier 1 worlds, and probably the longest. It's not my favorite. There's nothing really wrong with it, but it doesn't... meh. The most exciting part of it is the fruit slide, and that comes later.
I sure hope Sora's okay.
Who needs some think it's fun you came without him, huh?
Oh,
Alright, step 1, get the camp and meet up with the party. The way we do this is we jump into the abyss here, and then Tarzan and I will do the stage 1 of Fruit Slide. Also just a little time getting prepared. Slowly sliding. Later on, we'll do a lot more of this when the fruit's on the path and we can get all the other places. But for now, just taking it to the camp.
Jane,
Tarzan. Oh, and who's this?
Hi there.
Oh, you speak English. So then, obviously you're not related to Tarzan. Are you here to study the gorillas?
highly doubtful.
Sorrel! Goofy! Donald!
A circus of clowns. Not much use for hunting gorillas.
Mr. Clayton, we're studying them, not hunting them. This is research. Well, the more the merrier. Do make yourselves at home.
Well, anyway, I'm staying. Huh?
Sorrel, look what we found. Look at this.
Alright, so now we get to pick our party. So I haven't talked to Jane here, but if you talk to her, she'll give you a little hint on the next steps. The next thing we're going to be doing is finding 6 slides around this camp. Each of them has a little picture on it, and when you show it all to Tarzan, he remembers that he's your buddy and wants to help you. And so here we just run around the camp finding each of the slides. So we find a few of these, but there's still 2 that I haven't been able to track down. I wind off going and exploring some other places, seeing if there's slides there, although there's not. I end up seeing some more at the cliffs, and eventually I just go back to the tent and we look at the cutscene without the last 2 slides. Alright, so I take a little bit of time looking around the camp, and eventually I do find each of the two missing slides. One of them's over by this easel, and then the other one is off in the corner. My old man eyes aren't what they used to be.
Well, Tarzan?
Where are my friends, Riku and Kairi? Hey, I thought...
That leaves just one place. Young man, we've been in this jungle for some time now. But we have yet to encounter these friends of yours. I'd wager they're with the gorillas, but Tarzan refuses to take us to them.
Really, Mr. Clayton? Tarzan wouldn't hide...
Then take us there. Take us to the gorillas. Gorillas.
Tarzan, are you sure?
Tarzan, go see Kerchak.
Kerchak?
He must be the leader. Perfect. I'll go along as an escort. After all, the jungle is a dangerous place.
Alright, next step, go talk to some gorillas. See what comes at us. It isn't much of a challenge at this point. So once you hit the lagoon, there's a couple of ways up into the swing and vine area. The way we want to go here is all the way across and up that last set. There's a couple of reasons for this. The first one is that there is a treasure chest over here that has puppies in it, and we want to save the puppies. Additionally, after this cutscene, the easiest way to get up to the treehouse is to just turn around and go up the vines right next to you without doing anything else. So we like this path.
Kerchak, please listen to me. I know the nesting grounds are secret, but I trust them. You see, I want to help them because, well, they need us.
Oh, did you get that?
No!
Kerchak! Kerchak.
I can't say I blame Kerchak. Humans do kind of suck. That prompt comes in and goes. Because we came up this way, we can just climb this vine.
What's the big idea?
Wait, Kerchak, please.
You don't understand. I was only trying to. Ah, a snake slithered by. You see, I saved that poor gorilla's life.
So it's not super clear. But the next thing we want to do is get back down to the camp. Once you go in the tent, we'll trigger a cutscene and that will be the next part of the story. Fortunately, the most fun and fast way down is Tree Slide. And away we go. I hear XP somewhere. There it is.
Now, Miss Porter, as I told you, I was not aiming at the gorilla.
You are not to go near the gorillas again.
Oh, because of one mishap. Come now. Huh? What am I doing with these imbeciles? Blasted gorillas! I'll hunt down every last one of them! I'll track them down somehow. I'll stake my life on it. Hmm? Hmm?
And so now there are new spawns in Deep Jungle in a couple of different specific areas where there are gorillas being attacked. And at this stage of the world, we just need to go around and find each of them and clear out the areas and save the gorillas, and they give you little rewards. There's something like 5 or 6 different encounters across the zone, culminating up at the treetop. And then once we do all of these, we'll be able to go back to the tent and get another cutscene and move on. As you may have noticed, we do have a few new enemies here. These cute little monkey guys are called Power Wilds. They are the basic Heartless of Deep Jungle. They run around and swing at you. They like to do this one attack that's like a jump that the main shadows do, but in their case, they have more flaily hands about it. It deals more damage. It's a little bit harder to parry. It's timed differently. It's, they're cute. They're fun. We are going to come back to this later.
Here! Thunder!
Here's a variant of the Power Wild. I believe they're called Bouncy Wilds. They're not too dangerous, but they will make you lose money. They like to throw bananas on the ground and have you slip and fall and lose all your stuff. They're silly fights, but they're fun. Always save. I believe the only other one to go to is at the treehouse.
Thunder! 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 Ha! Come on!
One more slide. Pretty quick.
Thunder! Ha! Ha! Ha!
Tarzan's a monster, he just one-hits everything. So I was mistaken earlier, there is no cutscene here for now. This is an interlude scene where we go out of the tent and we get drawn over to the cliffs. I just take a minute here to make sure I'm fully prepared because I believe when I go to this middle place, I'm going to be fighting Sabor. And I think this is the final Sabor fight for the world. There's not much really to say about this fight. All you really gotta do is get a good combo string going, and once you get him down once with reasonable space, you just keep beating on him. Still no stagger resistance.
Come on!
So now that we have seen Jane and our gorilla friend befall some calamity, the next step for us is to make our way over to the tent and figure out what to do from there. There's a rescue mission up near the treehouse, and then we're pretty much at the end of the world with the Clayton fight. Okay, and so now there's some backtracking to do. We go through the lagoon, and we climb the vine back up to the swinging trees. And then once we get there, just like before, we're going to turn around and we're going to climb that grass vine. And this will take us directly where we need to be for the next area of the world. So this is a weird fight. You have these ads. They don't actually count towards the victory, but they can get in your way very easily, specifically because you auto-target them a lot. The actual goal of this encounter is to jump and hit this big dark fruit on the wall. You get combo continuance if you strike it, but you can't actually directly lock onto it, and if another enemy walks by, your character will want to hit them. So the general cadence of getting through it is to just kill everybody that's close to the flower, and then hit the flower a whole bunch yourself. It's not super difficult, it's just kind of unintuitive. Doobity-doo-boo. And so the last thing we need to do is get down to the cliffs, and the easiest way to do that is to go to the treehouse and just jump off the left side.
Clayton?
Not Clayton. Not Clayton.
It ain't Clayton. So here's a quick intro fight. It's just some enemies and Clayton with a gun to introduce you to Clayton before you get to the actual boss encounter. Alright, so here's the actual Clayton encounter. The brief rundown of this boss is that the first thing you want to do is target lock that stealth sneak, the chameleon he's riding. That's the primary danger in this battle, and if you focus it and just kind of attack it full offense, full frontal, there's not too much it's going to do to you as far as hurting you or getting through on you. What is dangerous is that when it gets low on health, its eyes will start to glow, and it will do several of these orb tracking attacks, and these attacks will actually deal some damage. Additionally, the stealth sneak can't die while it's using it, so you need to wait for it to be between casts to take it down, otherwise you want to go defensive. But don't think too hard about dodging or positioning, just get up on it and start damaging it as best as you can. Once you get the stealth sneak down, it comes down to just you and Clayton fighting each other again. And Clayton is a pretty trivial encounter without the stealth sneak on the ground. He is a couple of ranged attacks, he'll jump and be pretty nimble, but you're stronger than him. And Donald and Goofy are also here to soak up some shots for you as well. He'll try to shoot you, he'll try to run around and jump, but you can just beat him down. And with a couple of quick dodges and swings, that's Deep Jungle. Cure. There's not too much we're going to pick up in this game that's more valuable than Cure. Healing magic is basically free potions that cost 1 MP. It's bonkers good in this game. Use it all the time. Put it on your hotbar.
Tarzan, home.
You get a whole scene here where you can explore the waterfall for extra treasure. I would suggest taking full advantage of this. There's some pretty good stuff to find. Don't miss this chest right here. It has Dalmatians. Eventually at the top left, we'll be able to go into this alcove and finish off the world proper.
This is your home? But that means... Huh?
Look,
The waterfalls. They're echoing all the way here.
Friends there. Sea friends.
Oh, now I've got it. Ah means heart. Friends in our hearts.
Heart.
Oh, so that's what it meant.
Friends. Same heart. Clayton. Lose heart. No heart. No see friends. No heart. No friends.
Sorry about what I said.
I'm sorry too.
yeah, all for one, huh? But it's sure not the king's.
I think someone has a new admirer.
No, 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 no. Please, you would kill me.
What drew the Heartless to that world?
The hunter lured them there. It was his lust for power that was the bait. But it seems the bait was too tasty for his own good.
Yeah, he got chopped instead.
A weak-hearted fool like him stood no chance against the Heartless. But the boy is a problem. He found one of the keyholes.
Fear not. It will take him ages to find the ring. Besides, he remains blissfully unaware of our other plan.
Yes, the princesses.
They are falling into our hands one by one. Speaking of which...
New Keyblades, more damage. Heck yeah. And that is going to be our Deep Jungle achievement. Pretty happy with the progress we made on this one. I think we're going to call it there today. We've gotten through Olympus, we've gotten through Deep Jungle. Next time we'll finish off Traverse Town and then maybe take a peek into the Tier 2 worlds. If you've watched up to this point, thank you so much for hanging out. And until next time, be good to each other, y'all.